videos and stuff?
Yeah, most definitely.
Totally different thing.
It's music, you know, it's playing your instrument and expressing yourself and doing all the things that are natural to do. Videos is not very natural at times.
That whole lip syncing thing. Do you think it was the 80s and the Madonnas and the Michael Jacksons that kind of grew into music through MTV?
It wasn't.
I think, I mean,
I can't say it's their fault.
Yeah, I think they just took it to a different place. I think there's entertainment and then there's music, you know, and I think some forms of entertainment actually have musical qualities about them, which I think Madonna and Michael Jackson and those sorts of things. And I think sometimes people get the two mixed up, you know. What we're doing is, I would imagine, entertaining to some degree, but I think it's more musical first, you know. I think it's sharing a feeling, sharing an emotion, rather than it being like showing off, you know, or...
Now, of course, your video won Best Video of the Year at MTV, but I know that you're not kind of really into doing those kind of videos. Does that mean the next videos will be live performance?
Let me tell you about a couple other videos that I think are really great. I think the Urge Overkill video, which you're actually playing, is really great. And also, American Music Club, who just did a video for Johnny Mathis's
Amazing. Unbelievable.
Made a great video. And I know there's people at MTV that like that video, so I hope they play it, because those are bands that are actually out on tour with us right now. Rollins is playing with us tonight, and we're going to get to hear a whole new slew of new songs, because they're just about to go in the studio. And Mudhoney and the Butthole Surfers are going to be out with us too, which reminds me, I saw Gibby about 3 weeks ago, and he shared something with me. He actually told me that he is Howard Stern. And I started to think about it, and I've hung with Howard Stern a lot too, and I thought of all the similarities that there are between Gibby and Howard Stern, and how I've never seen them together. I've never seen a picture of them together. So I think they are the same person. I think he was telling the truth.
And the fact that you love them both equally, too, is kind of one of those things also.
Now, I love the American Music Club. It seems, I mean, that's a very interesting choice in comparison with all the other ones. What do you like about their music?
Their music, well, I heard it, the first time I heard it was in Europe, and I was pretty fatigued and wanted to take a nap before we played, and Jeff was playing this music, and I laid down, and I didn't sleep at all. I just got lost in this music, and I sat up and asked him what it was, and he told me it was this band, American Music Club, and I came back and bought the CD that I could find, their new one, and it just blew me away. And I'm really glad that, I was really excited when Jeff came up with the idea of taking them out, because their music to me is like, you know, it's like the drummer said, he's a rock drummer, but playing the way he plays on this record, it's kind of this jazzier feel, and it's just the music itself is so totally different than anything I've heard, and it's so emotional, and the poetry and the lyrics is
amazing,
unbelievable. It's just really great stuff.
I think we're playing a show with them and Rollins at the Greek Theater on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
It's just 3 bands, and people have said, like, what a weird bill, like you guys, Rollins, and American Music Club. But if you look at especially like the words and kind of where the emotions are coming, they're very similar. I mean, you know, a really great round table would be Mark Eitzel, Henry Rollins, and Eddie Vedder. You know, if they could sit around and talk, I think I would love to be in the room.
I'd like to be under the table.
I kind of doubt if they're going to do it.
I don't think there would be any flies in the wall in that room, for sure.
Now, why go out with all these bands, you know? I mean, and lots of different bands.
Well, I mean, you know,
we're selfish.
Yeah, it's you know, being on tour, like touring with 11 and all the other great bands, Tribe After Tribe and Cadillac Tramps, all these bands that we've toured with. Pretty much the main reason is because we want to see them night after night, you know, and they're great bands, and also, you know, for some of the bands to get a chance for them to go out to parts of the country and play in front of a lot of people is a great thing too. But I think first and foremost it's you know, we're up there on the side of the stage watching them play, and it really gets you into the spirit of things before you go on, is to see a great band that you really respect play, you know. It's a good thing.
It's purely selfish. I mean, we asked Paul Simon to come out with us, but he denied us because, you know.
We'd had to move the back line, and it just...
And Barbara Streisand, we asked her. And
Now, did you have a list of, you know, like your top 10 and the...
no, that was the list. The 5 bands that are going out with us was kind of like...
That was
you know,
the 5
bands
that were
we
mentioned,
and then luckily they all just, you know, wanted to do it, so we're lucky, you know, we're lucky that...
There's definitely a lot of bands that we'd want to go out with, for sure, you know, and a lot of bands that we'll eventually go out with, hopefully, you know, but on this one, those were, you know, if there were 8 mentioned, they were the first 5, and the other ones were just kind of, just in case, you know, and that kind of thing, but...
Plus these bands are going to kick our butt.
They're going to make us play and earn every bit of what we get, I mean...
And we went out to Urge Overkill because we obviously need fashion tips. Been together for 3 years. Yeah.
Now, do you have much contact with your fans, and has that influenced the way you are with them?
Sometimes we have a little too much contact.
Last night we just about ran over a large group of them. I mean, you always try to keep, I mean, you don't want to just hide from all of that, because I think that will freak you out, and then you'll end up being like Michael Jackson, and the growing aspect of yourself will kind of get shut down because it'll just be you and all these yes people, and I'm a fan. I mean, that's why we have these bands out that we like with us on tour, and I can relate. I mean, certain fans like are really genuine and really have something to say, and every once in a while you'll meet one and you'll just have a great conversation with them. I don't really relate to the gimme, gimme, gimme standpoint of fans, the fans that, you know, they'll ask you for an autograph, and then after that they'll ask you for, you know, your underwear or your shoes or anything that they can go back and brag to their friends about. And
you just gotta hope the music's enough, you know, in those points, because it's really, you know, it's a difficult thing. Also, you know, for me personally, like, it's when someone, you know, like somebody will show up with a stack of stuff, and you know, you got to think, okay, they're going to tell me to my face that they're going to hang all this stuff up or whatever. You know, you sign 10 records, and it's weird to think that it's a valuable thing, that someone could go out and sell that stuff, but then to have someone lie to you straight about it and say, you know, I'm not going to sell it, it's all for me, I've got all this stuff, and you see them every time you're in that town, they've got a stack of more stuff for you to sign, and just different things like that. It's really... it's a pain in the ass, and it's difficult at times just to call them on it and say, you know, and just be basically rude about it and let them know how you feel, because I just don't like doing that. But sometimes you get put in that position where you have to just, what do you want? Can't the music just be enough? You know?
And I think the bottom line is, like, when you do meet somebody, it's like meeting any person, you know, like before we were in this band, like, you met people and you got to know new people and you had new friends, and it was this reciprocating relationship. And that's I mean, that's kind of like, if you're gonna have a conversation with somebody, you want to be able to ask them as many questions as they're asking you, and you want it to get to a point to where it's a relaxed conversation and it's semi-normal. It's not like an idle thing, because what we do together is special, and that's the music. But on our own, and when we're just having conversations, we're just people, you know, we're just like